This is from Dawg Pound Daily. 3 big questions for the Browns running back situation in 2023. Number 1, who will be number 2 back? Number 2, is Demetric Felton battling Elijah Moore for the RB3 role? And number 3, will the Browns bring in a free agent running back? Tyler, I don't think there's much of a question that season is going to start with Jerome Ford as number 2. And Elijah Moore, he's going to be kind of a Deebo Samuel. I don't think they're giving him as much touches as Deebo Samuel. What you're doing by lining him up in the backfield is you identify who the matchup is. And if it's a mismatch, you exploit it.
Exactly. And that was a really good question about Demetric Felton or Elijah Moore as that running back 3, because Elijah Moore, I think, the Browns don't necessarily have that third down back. Some say, well, Nick Chubb can play 3 downs, and maybe they do use him more on third downs. Some say Jerome Ford could be that guy. I think that's when they want to try and put Elijah Moore more in the backfield and give them that different look on offense. And if they do look to add anybody at some point, I don't think – I mean, it's going to be a guy probably. It's going to be your third back, maybe possibly a second if you have a guy. For instance, one that comes to mind is if the Falcons, because I still believe it'll happen, end up cutting Cordell Patterson. That's a type of player I think the Browns could be interested in, that Swiss Army knife that can play receiver and play running back. He's up in his 30s, but at the same time, that's a solid backup running back to have to compete with Jerome Ford. But kind of like you said, I want to see how much they use Elijah Moore. We've already seen him line up out of the backfield. He's going to create a lot of mismatches just because he's a fantastic route runner. He doesn't get enough credit for that at all. And if you can line him up out of the backfield, it's just going to give teams another thing they're going to have to contend with the Browns offense. And there's a lot of talent on this offense. I mean, we've mentioned a lot of it. So if you could put Elijah Moore in that type of position, good luck trying to have a linebacker cover Elijah Moore out of the backfield, because it's just they're not going to be successful. So I really want to see how they use him, because like you mentioned, Deebo Samuel is what I think of too. I know the 49ers, what they like to do is more of Deebo Samuel, like actually running up the middle and whatnot. So I'm curious if not only the Browns use him as a pass catcher out of the backfield, but maybe from time to time to give them that different look. You have Nick Chubb next to Deshaun Watson, then you put Elijah Moore in the backfield, and then you actually give him a couple reps running the ball. So really curious to see how they use him this year, but I think he could end up being the Browns' third down back, depending on how much they like to use him out of the backfield.